Hi everyone, it's Kelly from the Hub. I am here with Lauren. She works at Compass Mark and she does a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks. Lauren, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. So the topic that we're going to talk about today, oh wait, hold on. You might know Lauren because she did this amazing video series that's on YouTube from Compass Mark, and we're going to be talking about different stuff, so don't just go watch those. But I'm just telling you, if that face looks familiar, that's where you've seen her, or you may have seen her in a school that you go to, and because she does programs like that too. So today we're going to talk about stress.
Yeah.
I have it, you have it, we all have it. This has been mildly unattractive for most people. So what are we going to talk about? Like, how are we framing this today? Are we saying everybody's stressed, so woohoo, or are you going to give us some tips? I need something.
Okay. Well, first, I think it's important that we understand what stress is, because I feel like it's a word that we use a lot, and sometimes we don't really understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm stressed. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Do you really know what you are? Yeah. Okay, so what is it?
Okay, so stress is actually our body and our mind's reaction to something that causes stress. So it's some kind of physical or mental demand, and it's how we react to it. So what that means is that it's not necessarily a bad thing. And we tend to use the word as if it's automatically a negative thing. But in fact, stress can actually be a good thing. For example,
Oh,
if
you're going
you
to have to, I
needed
was
to,
going to say, there better be an
oh yeah,
example.
have you ever auditioned for a play or tried out for a school team or tried out for the debate team or even had to give a presentation in class? Well, those feelings when you get those butterflies in your stomach and you get really nervous and you might start sweating, that's stress. But it's not a bad thing because it's bringing you to do something that's good for you. And it's bringing you to kind of step out of your comfort zone and, try your best at something.
So how do you know when the good thing becomes the not so good thing?
Great question. So, like I said, stress is not a bad thing. In fact, even negative stress, I like to look at it as at least I have something that I care so much about that I am stressed. So, if I have a lot of responsibilities on my plate or I am stressed because I can't see my friends, well, I'm grateful that I have those friends that I'm stressed out about not being able to see. I'm grateful that I have the responsibilities in my life that I'm stressed out that I have so much going on, right? So,
That's a great
the
way to
line
frame it, right? Because if you were just apathetic about it,
mm-hmm.
then you wouldn't care. But when you're stressed, that shows that you care.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
get it.
If you just went and said, "Oh, this is so stressful. I don't want to do anything," well, then you're going to end up not doing anything, right?
Right.
So, where the line is drawn, though, it's not that stress is a bad thing. It's how we handle it. So if we let stress build and build and build and continue to build up, and we ignore it or we brush it off or we say like we'll deal with that later, then it can lead to a lot of big problems, right? Emotionally, it can make you really depressed or really upset or disheartened about what you have going on. It can lower your self-esteem. It can even cause health problems. Even like getting cavities can be caused from stress, or having headaches or stomach aches or not being able to sleep.
Cavities.
Cavities, yep, can be caused from stress. So it's amazing how being able to handle your stress in a good way and lowering your stress level can actually help your health be better as well.
So how do I do it?
How do you
I
manage
mean,
stress?
everybody
Well,
says, well, take a walk. Well, sometimes that doesn't work.
sure, that doesn't always work. Sometimes taking a walk makes me more anxious because I'm ignoring what I have to do. But I'm specific. I'm a different. I don't know. Everyone's different, right? So like,
Right.
if I have my plate, I like to just take stuff off my to-do list, and that makes me feel better. But some people need to take a break and try to do something else. But there's two really good quick strategies for what to do, and then we'll talk about other ideas. But the first would be to breathe. And I know that sounds so silly and so simple, but it's remarkable how many people don't know how to take deep breaths or why it's good for you. So I thought we could try to take some together if you want.
All right. Well, you know what? Okay, you're gonna have to convince me that this works, because I breathe every day. So you're gonna have to show me that this is something that is valuable. Okay, here we go.
So,
I'm
right.
definitely willing
Well,
to. Okay, do I have to sit a certain way?
Yeah, good question. So you want to sit up with a good posture as best you can. When we, especially in class and stuff, we tend to slump or slouch or cross our legs or anything else. But when you cut off your stomach, which is really the main source of where you breathe or what expands when you breathe, so when you cut that off, you're not really breathing well. So you want to take 3 deep breaths, and you're going to breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth, and you're going to do it slow. So try to count to at least 3 in and then 3 out. We're going to do it 3 times in a row. Okay? So in, out, in, out, in, out. So you might feel a little different. You also might feel lightheaded or dizzy, and that is completely normal, okay? Because we go through our day, like you said, breathing all day, right? We don't think about breathing, it just happens. But we take little breaths, and that's okay, totally fine. But a big thing about stress is that it doesn't just affect us mentally, but it affects us physically. And sometimes our bodies will tell us that we're stressed before we actually know that we're stressed. And how that usually happens is through our heartbeat. And when your heart starts to beat faster, and you feel like you can feel it in your chest, or you can feel it in your head, you can hear it in your ears. When it starts to beat faster, it makes you feel irritated and nervous, and it makes you feel stressed. So when you take those 3 deep breaths, what it's doing to your body is it's actually slowing down your blood flow, and it's slowing down your heartbeat so that your heart can go back to normal. And then you think a lot clearer once your heartbeat is back to normal. So those 3 deep breaths are not just about taking a break. It actually physically changes the way that your body's reacting to stress.
How am I going to keep that in my head when I'm freaked out? Because, I mean, I might need you to be here all the time to say, Kelly, take a breath. Because, okay, I did feel better. Thanks a lot. But how do I keep you on my computer? Do I put a little Lauren Says Breathe sticker up here?
You could. You definitely could.
Ooh, Lauren Says Breathe. Okay. All right.
Lauren Says Breathe. And I think the more that you make it a habit to do that when you're feeling stressed out, the more that you'll think about doing it.
Okay.
It's really remarkable. I've had kids tell me before that they were in the middle of taking a test and they started to get really nervous because they couldn't figure out the answer to number 8. And they stopped themselves. They took 3 deep breaths. And then when they went back to it, they were able to think way clearer because they calmed themselves down first.
All right.
So it can.
I got to do it. I'm making a sticker as soon as we're done that says Lauren Says Breathe. And I'm going to put it on my computer. And
There you go.
That's how we're doing it. All right. So that was just one, right? You said you have another one?
Yeah, so the other one, if breathing is not enough for you, or if you want something extra, it's called positive imagery, which is it's unique for each person, but you want to take a couple minutes to try to figure out a place that makes you feel stress-free or makes you feel really happy and calm. And that could be anywhere, but whenever you think of that place, you want to think of as much stuff as you can and get as specific as you can. So thinking about, I'll tell you mine. I love hiking. So let's say I'm in the middle of the woods, okay? And for me, my favorite part about being in the middle of the woods is looking up and looking at the sky and the trees and seeing the birds. And so for me, I would want to picture what it feels like to sit on a log and think about what that actually feels like to be there. What the air feels like. Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it windy? I think about what I see. Do I see birds? Do I see the trees? I think about what I hear. Can I hear the rustling of the wind? Can I hear the birds chirping above? I even think about what I smell. What does it smell like to be in the woods? And so when I can think about all the senses, everything involved, and I practice drawing upon that image, then let's say I'm really stressed out one day, I've got too much going on, and I just need a moment to not be where I am right now. Well, what I can do is I can close my eyes and I can draw upon that memory. And the more I practice that, the easier it is for me to draw that memory. And if I can stay there for those 3 breaths and thinking about that memory, then it can actually help calm me down when I go back to what I was doing.
Now I got to figure out where my place is.
Yeah, it could be your bed, it could be, you know, your grandma's kitchen, you know, it could be anything for anything that really just like makes you feel safe. It makes you feel good and in control of what you're doing and your surroundings.
Yeah, I got to pick my place. I have options. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to get stressed while I'm picking out my happy place, right? Right.
Oh.
All right, so so I think of my place while I'm doing my breaths, and that will help me even more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, thinking of as many of the senses as you can. So really thinking about like, what does it feel like and what does it smell like? What do you see? All of that kind of stuff. So you can really put yourself there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are 2 like quick ideas to calm yourself down. In addition to that, you could do different activities, right? Like we all have activities that help us not feel stressed or at least get that stress out. So you mentioned walking earlier. That does work for some people. Even going outside can help make you feel better. Going outside even helps build your immune system, right? It just makes you feel better. You might like the arts and want to draw or paint or sing or play an instrument. You might like to do yoga or meditate, right? You might like to play a sport or exercise, even playing video games and watching TV for a minute or watching like a YouTube video, something that just takes your mind off of it, but then you can go back to what you were doing once you're feeling better, can help.
I have found, like many people who are working from home, I've got a lot of this in my day, whether it's a meeting or it's an interview or it's a chit chat with colleagues or whatever it is, or strategy meetings or whatever. I have found if we can end the meeting 2 minutes early, I mean, you know, like a little bit. I go out, my dog's having a little nap. I just cuddle up with her for like a minute, and then I can go back to my next meeting and I feel like I'm all right. That's been my sort of saving grace over the last couple of months. And
That's
thank
awesome.
goodness she's calm because, well, as I say that, the last video she was barking halfway through. But, you know, that she helps me do that. But I think I got to also figure out how to do it on my own too with the breathing. I think that'll be good.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like we've gotten to a point now where we've all kind of figured out our routines at home and what works for us. I have a dog too, and I definitely go cuddle him sometimes when I just need a second, like you said. And just being in these environments where we've started to figure out what I can do to make myself stress-free at home now too. When we do go back to work, there might be a little bit of a learning curve with, wait, how do I relieve this stress here now? I can't go cuddle my dog or, you know, eat that snack I wanted to eat or watch that YouTube video quick. You know, I have to like be here. So that will, we need to be aware that that things might change again once we go back to.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like this is what we do now, and then I gotta relearn how to do it again. I know. Yeah, I never thought about that before. I'm like, well, then I'll just bring her with me. Like my dog will just be part of my life all the time. Yeah. Oh, this has been helpful. I gotta say, it is one of those things. It's so easy to just do something. But when you're caught in the moment, the last thing you can do is think of it. And so as much as we giggled about, I'm going to write the Lauren Says Breathe, I really think that if I see it, It might just be the trick. All right, wouldn't it
Yes.
be hilarious if all over the region, everybody on their computer has a Lauren Says Breathe? That would be the best thing in the whole world. So everybody do it, take a pic and send it. And Lauren will become world famous for her stress techniques or stress relief techniques.
Yes, that would be really wonderful.
It would be fantastic. So next
Mhm.
week, we're going to talk about something else with Lauren, and I think I'm going to keep it a surprise, which
Okay.
truly means I don't know what we're going to talk about. Lauren does. She's the smart one. All right, right. It's a total secret. Lauren, I have to tell you, this has been very helpful, and I know people will find this very, very valuable. Thank you times a
Great.
million.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we will see you again next week. See you,
All right.
friend.
See ya.